This video is about effective communication. This helps you if you're an employee working for an organization. It helps you if you're a line manager, if you have people, reporting to you directly that you're managing as a team. This also helps you if you have a business and you want to make sure that the people working for you in your business reporting to you effectively. I recently came across a situation where I needed to implement an effective communication. The communication was deficient, and what I've done, I've summarized in a document my expectations for communication based on my experience working in large corporations in financial services for more than 20 years. So I thought it would be useful for me to share this with you in case you're just starting your journey as a line manager, whether you're an employee and want to make sure that you improve your communication skills to better position yourself as a star, an outperformer in your line manager's eyes, and overall for people who may find this useful to improve their skills in terms of communicating effectively. So I'm sharing this with you, and I'm gonna go through this document I've put together, and I'm gonna read through it and just take this as a sort of a working document. You can adapt this for your own needs. You can use this as guidelines, or you can use this as an idea of what you want to implement or what you want to improve. So here we go. I've titled this document Communication Rules, and I've broken down into sections. So first section is about tasks. Second section is about emails. Third section is about meetings. Fourth section is about deadlines. Fifth section is about evidence and documentation. And sixth section is about weekly status update reports. First section relates to tasks. So tasks. If I give you a task to do, then I expect you to acknowledge you have accepted the task. Let me know verbally and in writing of your estimate of how long is going to take you to complete the task, which is a specific due date for completion unless I give you a specific due date. Keep me posted on progress on that task verbally and in writing via email at least once a week, depending on the type of task, sometimes more frequently. If there are issues that come up which prevent you from completing the task by the agreed due date, let me know ASAP, verbally and in writing, a revised due date, unless I give you a specific revised due date. Second section is about emails. Do all the follow-ups and subsequent updates in writing via email on the back of the original email, so that the entire audit trail is saved under the same thread in one email chain, which can be saved and referenced for audit purposes. Meetings. If I send you a meeting invite, then I expect you to, as soon as possible and within 24 hours of receipt, accept it, or suggest another time that works for you. Send me a written email note. If you cannot attend, let me know why. Attend the meeting if you have accepted it. If you attend the meeting, then I expect you to be mindful of the amount of time available and agenda for the meeting. Stay on point and be succinct. If you estimate the meeting may overrun, ask up front everybody's availability to stay on and continue for longer as soon as you realize that the meeting may take longer than the time planned for. Take notes during the meeting when actions and tasks are discussed which are being allocated to you, so you can refer to them later on. This relates to the meeting section still, so there are other elements here. Do not schedule a meeting for the same day unless you've got every attendee's agreement up front to do so. Do not cancel external meetings and calls if you cannot attend them. Make sure someone else can attend if you can't, or get approval to cancel before you proceed to cancel any external meeting. As much as possible, schedule all meetings at least 2 days in advance, unless you've got every attendee's agreement up front to schedule a meeting with less notice. Deadlines. This is a section relating to deadlines. If I give you a deadline, then I expect you to acknowledge the deadline and that you will work towards it. Let me know as soon as possible if the deadline is not achievable and suggest a revised deadline unless I give you a specific revised deadline. Provide me with verbal and written update on progress at least once a week, and sometimes, depending on the deadline, more frequently than that. Ensure that you do not revise a deadline more than once, so make sure you are correct in your estimates. Next section is about evidence and documentation. If I ask you for any advice, opinion, contribution, decision, etc., or any other form of input, then I expect you to document the rationale and how you have arrived at your input. Include links and references to guidance supporting your input, and do all this via company email, so in writing. And then lastly, it's the weekly status update reports. I have a separate video on that. At the end of each week, on a Friday, I expect to receive a weekly status update report with a format shared already, which you'll find in the video I've posted recently. So check that video up. You'll find the link here. So you can see how I set out my expectations for effective communications. These are based on my experience and lessons learned throughout my career, and expectations based on best observed best practice in the workplace. And obviously, the way I read that out it sounds authoritative, dry perhaps, but anyway, everybody can have their own set of expectations for communication. These are my own. Feel free to adapt them to your own needs. You can sweeten the tone. I think effective communication should be something that everybody is versed on. Everybody speaks the language. Like you speak English, you understand English language is universal, but it's a skill that we actually become good at in time with experience. So it's helpful that when you deal with new hires, people who are recent graduates or people who only have very limited experience in a workplace in their career, it's important to help them come up to speed with your own expectations. If anything I said resonates with you, please feel free to leave in the comments down below, and let's all share and learn from each other. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in one of my next videos. Take care.